And we are underway. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome to the virtual chapter. It is 7:11, thank heaven.
I'm so sorry I made this late.
And it was only a couple minutes late. We actually don't start, Shelley, until quarter after. We have 15 minutes to kind of log in. So we're doing just great. So it's lovely to have you all here. We started a group online, the virtual chapter on Facebook. And I mentioned to a few people at the just a little bit earlier that within 24 hours we had about 175 people that had joined the group. I did notice when I was putting them in that they have some of them are members of 500 in some groups, which is kind of interesting, whereas others are a little fewer. But it's really nice to know that we had that great kind of response. So we're really excited about that. Some of you who were here last month will remember that I announced a class for working online with clients. Virtual hypnosis, virtual hypnotist is the name of the class, and within 24 hours it was completely sold out. So I'm offering another section that's going to be starting in August, and it'll be 3 Sunday nights, August 6th and 13th and the 20th. And for usually $125 course, we're really just trying to generate this and to get this thing going. So we're doing it for $65 for three weeks worth of lessons. Everything you need to know about how to work online, how to modify some of the things that you do, and how to develop some of the special skills that might be called for as well, and legal issues associated with it, and just about everything that we could think of. So we're looking forward to any of you that want to join that. I'm going to put up a link at the end, but I'll also post it to the group. So you'll probably see it in your Facebook. And so a couple other things to tell you. If you're a member of IACT or IMDHA, you get CEUs for being here tonight. So all you need to do to collect those CEUs is go out to the association's website. And when you log in with your member ID and password, there's a little screen that pops up where you can list things that you've done for continuing education units. Tell them you were a participant at the virtual chapter, where Shelley Stockwell absolutely fascinated, amazed, and amused and delighted you with transpersonal wisdom, and they will give you an hour's worth of credit for your time. And along with that, the meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be posted in the IACT IMDHA forum for members of those organizations. But now we have created the Facebook group specifically so that the links to the previous meetings and things can all be posted there as well. So this will be online tomorrow, hopefully by noon, maybe even before I go to bed tonight. So you can look for it there, because I know that once you've heard everything that Shelley has had to say, you will shake your head in disbelief and say, no, wait, what was that again? And you're going to want to share it with a number of your friends. So there will be the opportunity for you to do that. And again, Karen Hand Harper, my special associate and co-host, is with us tonight. I hope that she's still on the call.
I am. Yes, I'm here.
Good to have you here, Karen. And I'm going to talk to Shelley in a couple of minutes after I introduce her here. And when I have done that, we'll be asking you some questions, Shelley. That's how it usually works. And Karen, feel free anytime you've got a question or something to just jump right in and make yourself known.
Will do.
So I got to tell you about this lady, Shelley Stockwell, because it's just unbelievable. We were in Daytona Beach, Shelley and I. Shall I tell them about our experience together in Daytona Beach? So we were in Daytona Beach at the IACT IMDHA conference, and we were sitting at a table together for dinner. And I was thinking to myself how lovely it is that I have this annual meeting with special friends and people that I really get to see so rarely. And here I am sitting with my sister, Shelley Stockwell. And in the background, there was this guy impersonating Robert De Niro and telling some really terrible jokes that sort of glorified domestic violence. And and I was really disappointed that we didn't get more time to visit and talk. Oddly enough, that domestic violence comedian was a contestant on America's Got Talent.
I saw him.
You saw that? Yes, and then just a couple of weeks later, and unbelievably, he did exactly the same thing. And the judges on America's Got Talent didn't really go for it either. They would much rather have been talking to Shelley Stockwell as I am now. So let me just tell you, I have known her for a long time, well over 20 years, I think, at this point. She's written a million books. I don't really want to talk to you about all of that stuff. She's, she runs a great hypnosis organization, the International Hypnosis Federation. And she wrote some books with Orman McGill, who's one of everybody's favorite iconic greats in the field. She got in trouble for hypnotizing chickens, but that's another story. And she's a regular guest on radio and TV talk shows and stuff like that. She's been practicing hypnosis for 38 years because she wanted to stop eating sugar, as I recall.
Wow, you remember.
So welcome, Shelley. It's just so great to have you here with us.
Thank you so much. You are one of my favorite people. It's great to be like I'm sitting talking to you across a table with the most incredible colors behind you. What is that?
It's a green screen.
Oh, that's like awesome.
I just chose the background for you. I looked up the word transpersonal in Google.
Yes.
And then I checked to see the images, and there it was.
Awesome. So transpersonal is our topic for this talk.
That is our topic. What the heck is that?
What is that? How many of you listening, I know I can't hear you, but I can see some of you. How many of you listening have been to a place for the first time and yet you know all about that place? Nod your head if you've had that experience.
I don't remember where or when.
Yes. Or you meet somebody for the first time and you know all about them, and yet you've never met them before. Nod your head if that's happened to you. Mm-hmm. Or how many of you out there have spontaneously remembered another lifetime or been guided to another lifetime? Nod your head if that's happened. Mm-hmm. How many of you have had a glimpse of reality in the future and then it comes to pass?
Yeah.
How many of you out there have had an out-of-body experience? Nod your head if you've had one of those.
My own or somebody else's?
Naughty. Okay.
I'm not even sure what I meant by that, actually.
I'm not either, but it sounded good. But so I remember the first out-of-body experience I had is I was laying in my bed and I said, I'd like to get out of my body. And all of a sudden I lifted right out of my body. I was floating up to the ceiling and I said to myself, oh my God, I'm having an out-of-body experience. And I went plop and I went right back into my body. And that was the end of that. But in any event, I actually willed it and it was so. Mm-hmm. How many of you have had what I would call an enlightenment experience where you feel like you stuck your finger into a cosmic light socket and your every cell in your body is luminous? Nod your head if you've ever had that happen. Okay. How many of you out there have had an encounter with a deceased loved one? Nod your head if that's happened to you. I was speaking at Leisure World, which I called Seizure World, and it was a retirement community, and all these elders were there, maybe 150 elders, and somebody raised their hand. They said, excuse me, is hypnosis kind of like knowing something's going to happen before it happens? And I said, yeah, kind of. I said, just out of curiosity, how many of you here have felt like you had an encounter with the deceased loved one? And over half raised their hands. And then a woman asked a very compelling question. She says, why is it that over half of us here have had this experience and we never talk about it? We never talk about it. And that's because the transpersonal experience seems a little weird. It seems a little funky. And yet, I would say that a huge proportion of all the clients I've seen over the years have enlightenment experiences or recount an enlightenment experience when they come for hypnosis. And so hypnosis seems to evoke the Kundalini rising, some would call it, enlightenment experiences, expanded awareness, and transpersonal hypnosis means going beyond the personality, your day-to-day personality, and exploring a realm that is vast and maybe like uncharted snow. In other words, it's a chance to get high with your higher self. And everyone has a higher self. Some people have opened the room of enlightenment, seen the higher self, slammed the door and said, I'm not going there anymore, because they were told that it's the work of the devil or it's weird or whatever. Other people venture forth, but you know, it doesn't matter, because once you've opened the door of light, you always know it's there. And hypnosis opens that door of light, and it can be absolutely earth-shatteringly wonderful. It's just wonderful. So what I was hoping to do today was to take you on a couple of journeys that open the door of light. And they're very simple to do, but they start with an intention. So I guess I need to ask those who have the intention of expanding awareness right now, just nod your head. You have an intention. We like to set intention, or we suffer from something I call IDD, intention deficit disorder. Okay. And we know in a hypnosis session, we get the best results when we set the intention. So if you set the intention now, or if a client comes and you set the intention with a client, today we're going to do a soul retrieval, or today we're going to meet your deceased loved ones, or today we're going to see if you can channel, or today we're going to see what an out-of-body experience is like, then very often it's more likely to happen. So let's set the intention now that we will expand our awareness in every way. And so everyone repeat, and Michael, repeat this.
Mm-hmm.
I will expand my awareness in every way.
I will expand my awareness in every way.
Karen, I expand my awareness in every way.
I expand my awareness in every way.
Beautiful. Now, as you're breathing, and all of you listening, expand your awareness to the room you're in. Kind of open your field of vision, so that you have this peripheral expansion. I call this having fun at your own expanse. Just go ahead and expand your peripheral vision so you're seeing. You can take your hands, even move them out, and see how much farther out you can see. This is called the learning state in NLP. You're expanding. Somehow you're opening your mind. Okay? And now reach your hand up and imagine that you could see higher up. And then take a deep breath and put your hand down and imagine you could see all the way down, maybe to the core of the earth. And breathe into that sort of expanded space, which is you, this magnificent energy body on an earth walk in the middle of this profound space, which is heaven, maybe, or a higher place, and a earth place, and a physical place. Take a deep breath. Let it out. And the easiest way to expand your awareness is to just step into a kind of thought that brings you heightened awareness. In other words, think about your, they call it your doppelganger or your higher self or your all-knowing self. Step into that you that knows everything there is to know about you. The part of you that's been with you since you first began this earth walk, maybe even before. The part of you that may have been with you in other lifetimes. The part of you that knows everything about you from the beginning of your soul evolution, whatever that means to you, to the end of it, if there is such a thing. In other words, just breathe in and own that you have a part that is wise beyond wise. wise beyond wise. Now, just for fun, let that wise beyond wise part of you, that all-knowing, profound wise you, be a wake-up call for you right now to expand your awareness to just before you were born. Okay? Now you're going to make up a gigantic story with me here, but be in the place just before you entered into your body. And I will ask you a series of questions, and please answer them with your higher self. First thing that comes to mind. First thing, just like that. All right, are you all ready? Nod your head if you're ready. Here we go. Are you choosing to be born? Yes or no? Just answer it out loud.
Yes. Yes.
Good. If you answered yes, does someone help you choose? Yes or no?
No.
If you didn't choose to be born, does someone help you choose? Yes or no? Just
No.
answer. Take a deep breath. What is your relationship to any energy or beings around you before you were born? Just notice. Take a deep breath. Are you choosing to be born at the end of the 20th century, the beginning of the 21st century, for a particular reason? First answer that comes to mind.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
And if so, what is the reason? Let the answer just flow into your brain. Are you choosing to be male or female for a particular reason? Yes or no?
Yes.
And answer for yourself the reason. Do you know your mother from any other place in time? Yes or no? Do you know your father from any other place in time? Yes or no? Is there anyone else in this upcoming Earth adventure that you know from another place in time? Just notice that if so. What is your life's purpose? Why are you coming here? Take a deep breath. First answer that comes to mind, just let it flow through you as you open and expand your awareness in every way. How many other lifetimes have you lived? The first number that comes to mind. How many lifetimes will you live in the future after you depart from this one? First number that comes to mind. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Come back to room awareness. And let's hear what came up for you, Karen, and what came up for you, Michael. Let's hear what you had as an experience, and then we'll hear from the rest of you, too. What did you...
It was lovely. I mean, first of all, a lovely felt sense at the beginning, just the opening and the, and the expansion, and a territory, by the way, a territory with which I'm not really unfamiliar. So I thought it was really interesting because when you were asking about the relationship to the others around, it was more a sense, I didn't have a sense that anybody had sent me anywhere or anybody was doing, that. I had a sense that we all were sort of peers in a, like in a school or a cluster or connected to one another in some kind of organic way, or meta-organic way, maybe, I don't know what the word, trans-organic way. Very, very mystic.
Nice. How about you, Karen?
No, I would love to share, but this is where I'm going to have to bail because I got another meeting. But what I would like to do, if you don't mind, is bring up one of these people because everybody was having a wonderful experience. Pick somebody.
Okay, Kim. I got Kim. I see Kim's sweet face with her beautiful hair and her glasses. Hi, Kim.
What I was surprised is when you asked, if anyone is there with me, is it's not like there were solid forms. It was just like a feeling that there were other entities around me that were similar to me. They weren't like people, but it was like
some people call it a soul collective. Would that fit?
More like that. Yes.
Kind like of a family almost of energy.
Yes.
How about Linda? Can we open it for Linda too?
Sure. Wait, which
Linda Walsh?
Where is she at? I've just got to find her microphone. Here we go. There you go, Linda.
Hey, it was really very much like a soul family, and surprisingly, I did know my mother, I did know my father before, and a couple of people for sure. And it's really interesting what Michael said. I think it was Michael, someone said it. And because I had this feeling before about certain people within the hypnosis group that I have been, associated or contacted with. And it was like all of a sudden I was sitting at my kitchen table one morning and I'm like, wow, we've all been connected before. And I was like, ooh. Okay.
That's great. That's beautiful.
It was like, it was really nice. So
okay, let's go to Kathy. Cass. What happened for you?
I've got to get her microphone. Hold on.
Okay.
And we need to move to something else in a minute because we're on a time crunch here. By the way, I got to.
Okay. That's right. Okay.
Find Kathy.
Kathy Cass.
I saw her a minute ago. There we go. Here it is. Kathy, your microphone should be open now.
Okay. Well, I had the sense that I was placed in my mother's womb, and I've had this feeling before, and that as far as my purpose was to serve this connection when I came in.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I want to talk about this a little bit. I have taken people, literally thousands and thousands of people on these kinds of journeys. And it seems that a lot of people, I've never done a survey, the percentages, but a lot of people have very keen recall of choosing to be born or not choosing to be born, and very often being assisted by entities or energies on the other side. And very often they know people like you did who are people they'll encounter when they cross over here. Now, the next thing that we would do if we had a lot of time is to explore, are you living out your soul purpose? Because we asked that question, what was your purpose? And it's so magnificent when you really own your soul purpose. Now, you were placed in your mother's womb. So I was sent to help my mother. I know that. And I actually received a message from my spirit guides that said, hey, you fulfilled that journey. Now you don't have to do that anymore. You're done with that and you can do whatever you want. So I was like, wow, I'm done with my job. Okay, so it was a big assignment. But it's a really interesting thing. So this is a part of what we call time travel. You take people to the past. You can take them back to other lifetimes. You can take them back to just before they were born. You can take them to decisions they make along the timeline of this lifetime. You take them to their death in this lifetime. If they don't like the story of how they dropped dead in this lifetime, you say rewrite it, because you have this power within this kind of realm of expanded awareness to change the story. I call it play it again, Sam. In my book, Time Travel, I really think it's important that you have to rewrite some of these scripts because they're debilitating. So we play it again the way we want it to unfold. So if I don't want to keel over at 75 from a heart attack, I rewrite it till I die at 105, making love with, my husband or I, whatever. So that's time travel. And then you can expand the time to what happens after you die. And that's really beautiful, especially if you work with people who are transitioning. It's a beautiful thing to take them through time travel to the future, to when they are departing. Then another thing you can do with transpersonal that's profoundly wonderful, and if we have the time now, it's up to Michael, I'd like you to meet your angels. Would you like to do that, everybody? Nod your head if you'd like to meet your angel.
Sure. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. And just so you know what my press is, we're supposed to be out of here at 9:00, and I don't think we're going to make that, but we started a little late, and hopefully folks will hang out. I do want to ask you a couple sort of practical questions that I know the group wants to know in terms of incorporating this into their work and stuff like that. So let's have a little experience. I think that'd be lovely. And
okay. So why don't you ask me the questions, and then we'll have the experience. How's that?
Okay. So all right. So the questions that I really have are, first of all, you've got to know that there are some people that just really have a hard time taking any of this stuff seriously. They're, and they go, this is just woo, this is too far out, this is weirdness. Do people have to be a believer in order to benefit from this kind of work?
Okay, well, first of all, you can't take it seriously. And because if you take it seriously, Spirit takes all this very lightly, and it's really a delightful experience. You lighten up. You don't make it dense and heavy. And when I did so much radio in my life and had my own television show, and occasionally I would get somebody who would say, this is the work of the devil, my preacher told me. And I'd say, wow, that's really interesting that they say that, because did you know that hypnosis is the scientific word for prayer? And they go, really? Yeah. They go, wow, that's really interesting, because there's really altered state belongs to all of us. Mm-hmm. And it's just gotten some bad rap along the way. So if somebody is hesitant to do this work, I don't usually evoke the work. What I do is I say, go back in time to when this first began in this lifetime or any lifetime, and I'll just do it as a throwaway line. Yeah. And surprise, somebody might go back. Or the future, you can say, so let's go ahead 10 years from now. Where are you? Where are you living? Who are you living with? What are you doing? You can do projections into the future. You can expand their awareness without saying we're going to have an out-of-body experience. But what inevitably happens is the client has these brilliant breakthroughs when they expand their awareness. And it's wonderful to watch. And don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if you've not had that happen, that somebody on your magic chair will start channeling. And you'll hear an entire different voice, an entire different entity speaking to you from a different point of view. And then we can even consider entities like subpersonalities. You can consider them parts of you, which are subselves that have things to say and messages to give. Okay. So I don't really push the river and demand it. Sure. I just open people to it.
Well, on the other hand, then, and I've had students, in fact, kind of asking me this question. They're like, well, I'm really sort of attracted to that sort of work. I like the idea of doing it, but I wonder if I promote it, and if I do past life regressions and working with your angels and those sort of things, then will that affect people's ability to take me seriously as a weight loss, stop smoking therapist?
Well, I can only talk from my own experience.
And that's exactly what I want to know.
And from my students. So I'm in Southern California. You need to know that as the backdrop, because so different countries have a different milieu or vibration. Okay, but I'm in Southern California. And 37 years ago, I started channeling an entity named Kendra, who I can come and bring Kendra to you at another time. And it's beautiful and it's amazing and interesting and mind-boggling, really. I started channeling this entity and became very, very famous on a lot of television shows like Phil Donahue and The Other Side and things like that for channeling. Mm-hmm. Psychic. And what happened as a result is half of my clients came to me for psychic readings, which was channeling, and which is really a lot like hypnosis when it's done the way it's done for me. And the other half came for hypnosis. And very often, one faction didn't know that I did the other thing. And when they did find out, they found it intriguing and interesting. So for me, here in Southern California and on the media, which is, all over the world, because I've been on shows all over the world, it has been a non-issue. Now, I don't take any of this seriously. And people will say, well, Shelley, how do you know if this is real? I say, I don't. Mm-hmm. How do you know if you made it up? I don't. Maybe I did. But, everything's a story we make up. Everything you've ever done in your life is a story you told yourself. And so why not tell yourself a story that you have profound guidance that makes you do the right thing?
Well, here's the thing, too, if I might just interject it, is one of the things that I know is anything that you can make up, what's the raw material that you make it up out of? When you're being creative, the raw material is your own psyche finding expression.
Exactly.
So it does, to me, whether it's real isn't nearly as relevant as whether it's significant or whether it points to something real, maybe realer than the chairs and tables around us.
Well, I'm writing a book right now on medical hypnosis called Thrive. And so my question would be, does this concept or story nourish you, or does it toxify you? And I think that's really an important question. If it's nourishing and it takes you along this path of expanded awareness, I think it's terrific. Mm-hmm. If it's toxifying, then I think you should dump it or, plant it in the garden next to your flower as fertilizer, because you don't need to be growing plants in anything but nourishing caca.
Great. All right.
Okay, so let's try something, shall we? Everybody, are you all game? Nod your head if you're game to move on. Let's try something. Okay. Right. All right. This is another game, and we'll see what you think about it. Sit up straight wherever you are right now. Sit up quite straight so your spine is straight. You're going to answer these questions. First thing comes into your mind, just like that, okay? Nod your head if that's okay. I can see you. All right, here's the deal. Imagine, if you will, that right behind you is an angel or a guide. You can close your eyes if you like, or you can keep them open, and imagine that standing behind you is an angel or a guide. And you know that this is for your highest good because we're exploring guidance. Okay, nod your head if you understand that. Smile a little. Good. All right. Answer my questions now. Is your guide tall, short, or medium? First answer. Michael?
Oh.
Tall, short, or medium, okay? Oh. Does your guide have long wings, short wings, or no wings at all? First answer.
No.
Everybody answer. Good. What is the color around your guide? Any color or energy? Just notice. Is your guide male, female, or neutral? First answer come to mind.
Male.
Good. Take a deep breath. Now, this is a choice you're going to make. If you want to become more intimately involved with your guide, invite them through your spine into your heart. So take a deep breath and invite them through your spine into your heart. And just let them be there for a minute. And say the first name that comes to mind out loud.
Atoma.
Good. Everybody else, first name that comes to mind, say it out loud. Good job. Good job. Take a deep breath. Ask your guide to scan your body and tell you the state of your health at this time. And if there's any place within your body or structure or aura that needs to be readjusted to be balanced, whole, and holy, have them do it right now. Take a deep breath and let it be done. Good. Smile on yourself. Smile all over yourself. Any question you've ever wanted answered, ask your guide in your heart at this time to answer it for you right now, in this moment. And let the answer just filter into you, first thing that comes to mind. Keep breathing. I'm speaking directly to your guides now. What is your message? Please speak it out loud. Anything you'd like to communicate out loud. Directly to your guide, please speak your message. Keep breathing. Don't censor, analyze, edit, or judge. Just say the message out loud. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank your guide for coming. Knowing you can bring them back the same way you brought them in now. And now send them out through your spine. So they are standing behind you once again. Smile on yourself. Smile all over yourself. Smile on your guide. And they probably will smile back at you. And come back to room awareness. And let's hear from you what this was like for you. Can I hear from Wendy?
Let me see. Wendy.
Beautiful Wendy, I see you there, love.
There you go. And you're open, Wendy. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what immediately came to me is that I need to find the peace inside of my body physically, because I'm having some health problems right now. It's not real serious, but bringing that in, and then the gift of being able to bring that peace to others.
Yes, it's quite a
tender thing right now.
It's profound. And, you know, we have this miraculous power that we forget. We forget because we're human. We're confined. We're in a structural confinement, and the spirit will open and expand it. And you know that you can renew, restore, and regenerate. You know that. But when you call spirit in, it does it for you. You don't have to think about it. It's done. Thank you, Wendy, for that. And Mark, can we talk to Mark? Mark Sewell. Mark, how are you, love? We're going to let you.
Mark, let me get you here. There you go, Mark. Go ahead.
Hi, Mark.
I am so glad you're on this call. Is this a new group? Because this is my first time. I don't know.
Welcome.
Michael invited me, actually. That was awesome. We made a connection over
It's a little hard to hear you, Mark. I wish I could hear you better.
Is it better this way?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just have to hold this microphone close to my mouth. I will do that. This was interesting for me. I got a sense that because the question I asked is, why am I afraid to succeed?
Yes.
It seems like I make things, have some strides, and then I kind of sabotage or I get discouraged.
Good.
Something happens. So,
did you get the answer?
I didn't get a complete answer. Maybe that means I have to work at it a little bit.
So here, rather than work at it, let me just give you a little advice. Okay. Do the same exercise again and don't work at it, play at it, and just see what pops up, okay? I'm going to go one more. I want to go to one more person. Thank you so much for talking. And Linda Walsh, what would you like to say?
Linda, I've got to open your mic again. Where are you at? Here we go. Go ahead, Linda. Oh wait, Linda, I'm sorry. I have actually not.
Who am I talking to?
You're trying to talk to Linda, and now Linda, you're unmuted. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
6 o'clock.
Okay, Linda, what happened with you?
I just had this really strong sense of peace and a knowing, and it was really interesting because it was like I knew that I knew.
Yes.
And I knew that I knew this being.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it made my heart really open, and I just feel peaceful.
I love that. I'm speaking now to Elizabeth. I know I can't see your picture, but I know you're there, Elizabeth. And what I want to say to Elizabeth and all of you, do you realize how quickly you connected with your guidance? Let's think about this. Exercise was less than 4 minutes. The other exercise was only a few minutes. See how simple it is to expand your awareness in every way?
Yeah.
So we talk about transpersonal hypnosis. We are having fun at our own expanse. We help others be more expansive, and people have profoundly and brilliant enlightenment experiences. And so I just want to close, because Michael, I think I'm going to run out of time here. But an enlightenment experience needs to be understood by hypnotists, because when somebody has a full-fledged, flat-out enlightenment experience, it's weird looking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because some people seem like they're having a psychotic break. And I say this to you because if it ever happens to you with a client and suddenly somebody is breathing deeply and they're speaking in funny voices or they're writhing around, they could very well be having the Kundalini opening, and it's wonderful experience. It will be life-changing, and if I get a chance to come on here again, I will talk about the Kundalini rising and how life-changing it is. I write about it in a lot of my books because it's too important to pass up when you're a hypnotherapist. And if you assist somebody through the Kundalini awareness, expanding fully, they will never be the same in a brilliantly good way. They'll understand things they never understood before. They'll have a connection to a higher purpose that they never had before. They'll be healthier than they've ever been before. And they'll stop every addiction and every compulsion that you could ever dream of, because connecting to that higher knowing is mind-boggling. And that's why Bibles are written and religions have begun, because this experience is open to every human being. And that, folks, is transpersonal hypnotherapy.
Lovely, lovely. Just to echo on something you just said, Shelley, I remember a quotation from Ram Dass a number of years ago, who said there comes a place where you're either going to get enlightened or go crazy.
Yeah, it's true. So, but I do want to say one thing too. I've heard about people like me, but I never made the connection. They walk one road to set them free and find they've gone the wrong direction. But there's no need for turning back. Every road leads where I stand. And I believe I'll walk them all, no matter what I may have planned. So just keep doing yourself perfectly, open, you expand, and you won't go crazy. You'll go sane. That's what I think.
Lovely, lovely. Well, thank you so much for that, Shelley. I just want to make a quick little announcement here, and then we'll give everybody a chance to say goodbye to you, and we'll get all the energy going from everybody at once. So 1 month from now, well, not 1 month from now, but on the second Tuesday of next month, Shelley mentioned working with people at the end of life. And as a matter of fact, we're going to have Mary Valley here next month. And Mary has worked with over 500 clients with end-of-life issues, and she's going to share with us some of the things that she has learned in her work as well. So that should be a really good meeting. That will be August 8th. Same time, same bat channel. Just you can click on the same link, but of course you'll get an announcement. If you're not a member of the virtual chapter group on Facebook, just go on Facebook and search virtual chapter and join, because we'll make sure that you get announcements and things of all these great adventures that are coming up. This group is growing. It's such a lovely, lovely thing, and I really thank everybody for their involvement with it. Karen, I'm sorry that she had to take off early tonight, but it's great to have her here. And so now here's what we do. It is wild. It is reckless. So you have to be ready for this, because what I am going to do is I'm going to unmute everybody all at once. So the sounds of the universe and the voices of anybody associated with these calls can say goodnight and goodbye all at the same time in great cacophonous harmony. So good night, everybody. Your microphones are on.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, Shelley.
Thanks, Shelley. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Love to all.
Wonderful.
Bye.
Thank you, Michael.
Hey, Shelley, it's Linda Joy Rose from Florida.
Boy, so nice to hear your voice.
I know, I love you, and it's been so great.
Awesome.
Shelley, can you hear me?
Who is it?
Yvonne.
Yvonne.